Good morning, guys. It's day number 30 of my stay batical to 50. This is my 100-day journey to transform my mind, transform my body composition, all the things. Those of you that have been following this journey so far, you know what this is about. You know why I'm doing it. And so we're back here on day number 30 of doing all these biohacks and all the things that I've been doing. I missed you guys yesterday. I did take a day off. And it was just one of those things that you just know. And it's something that I've tried to be very cognizant of, listening to my body, but also making sure. Because it's very easy to just say, okay, I'm just going to take a day off. Without any purpose, without any meaning, without any reason. You just say, I don't wanna. Well, it wasn't just a I don't wanna. If I'm honest, I wanted to be out here yesterday. I wanted to do all the biohacks yesterday. I sincerely did. But my body was having nothing of it. Part of it was my sleep was messed up again, where I had split sleep again yesterday, not last night, but the day before, and it just wasn't going to work. And so I listened to my body. I'm like, all right, looks like the training and all the things has overtaxed my body to the point that it's impacting my sleep negatively. So I made the decision to take yesterday off. And look, that's what I want to talk about here today. Rest is just as much a part of the journey to getting better as what I'm doing right now. We like to look at physical activity and doing something as the only things that benefit us when we start any given journey. And what I'm finding is, yes, those things are important. Yes, when I'm out here on this walking trail, when I'm sitting in an ice bath, when I'm doing all the things, those things are contributing to the better that I'm trying to pursue. But so does the rest. I think rest gets a bad rap. We forget that when you push your body, the way you get benefits from pushing yourself is allowing your body to get adequate amounts of rest, recuperation, rejuvenation. And so I'll be honest with you, I was a little upset that I had to post on my stories yesterday that I was not feeling it and I needed to take a day of rest. I don't like doing that. But the more you think about it, the more you ponder it, the more you realize you just got to accept those moments of rest as just as important as the moments of pushing yourself, and just as important as doing all the things. Because if you go all the time, never giving your body a rest, at some point that's going to be catabolic. Like, think that through logically. If you're always breaking down, when do you build back up? A serious question. Anybody that's a gym rat will tell you that when you're in the gym, you're actually tearing down. You're not building up in the gym. You're tearing down in the gym. The place where you build back up is in the recuperation and recovery time for those muscles. So I'm looking at this journey in the same way. I can't see benefits unless rest is just a bigger part of the journey to being better as what I'm doing now with all the things. So this morning, I've already knocked out 3 things before this walk. So I've already gotten the vibration plate in. I've already gotten red light therapy in. I just finished a meditation, which highly recommended. If you don't meditate and you're stressed to the hilt in your life, which a lot of us are right now, go meditate. I look up on YouTube, just type in meditation or guided meditation, either one. And you'll find some really good meditations that don't take more than like 10-15 minutes. There's some ones that are much longer than that, but look for the ones that are about 10 to 15 minutes long. And all you got to do is sit in a chair, a comfortable chair, or lie down and just listen and do the things that the guide tells you to do. And it's pretty amazing. It will start your day off well. It will end your day well. At some point, I may be adding a meditation, not just in the morning, but in the evening. But it's amazing when you let your body rest like I did yesterday. And I missed you guys, by the way. I know you guys are following my journey. I get so many messages that say, I love your videos on your journey where you're just talking to us. And look, I love it too. I got accountability from you guys doing this. I'm doing a lot of these things on a daily basis, and it's nice to have company. It's nice to know that other people are kind of vested in what's happening. So I appreciate you guys for that, sincerely. Obligation to you because of that. But if you see me not here on any given morning doing my little walking and talking video, go to my stories. More times than not, you'll see that I'm taking a rest. And the good news is, I think that was the first rest that I've had, I think, in about 10 or 11 days. Early on, I was taking a rest every 3 or 4 days. It was horrific early on. My body was just like, nah, bruh. We don't feel what you're doing here, nah. But now that I've done this a while, now that I have obviously lost weight, gotten fitter, it's starting to be less and less frequent that I need the rest. But look, I'm going to always pay attention to what my body's telling me. And if the body says chill, I'm going to chill. If the body says push, I'm going to push. So because I chilled yesterday, I feel great today, and I can push. It's why I've already done almost half of my biohacks before my walk. So it's pretty cool. But do you see rest in that way? I think a lot of people frame rest, taking a day off, as being lazy, because our society has said you should always push, you should always go, and we don't see the value in the journey to better of simply resting. And I realize it's a tricky thing, because if you allow yourself to rest just because you don't feel like it, but then convince yourself mentally, well, I need the rest because my body and mind are overwhelmed. You can convince yourself of that. And it may or may not be true. Only you know that. But then once you rest, if you don't pick up the baton and run again, it's very easy to stay stuck on the rest. I think that's what kills some people when it comes to them not wanting to take a break, is they know themselves. They know how they are. They know that if they rest, that they may not start up again. And so that's the fear. Oh, thank you, Marty, for buying a badge. And yeah, guys, if you want to support my work, you like all these videos I make, if you're watching it live, hit the little badge thing down there. It's your way of showing you like what I do and support what I'm doing. So thank you for that, Marty. But yeah, people see rest as this bad thing. They almost consider it like cheating on your diet. Well, you can't rest because that's like having a bite of carbs when you're trying to eat a low carb diet. You can't do that, blah, 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 you know? And it's so wrong that we don't see the value. I promise you, you're getting more nutrients from resting than you ever get from a chocolate cake. Way more nutrients. So if you're looking at that analogy, oh, I can't cheat on my diet, so therefore I can't take a rest day, which is cheating on my fitness plan. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can, because those two are not the same. One will lead to blood sugar and insulin and inflammation spikes and you feeling guilty. The other one, taking a rest, will rejuvenate you, let your body heal, and there's no metabolic response at all negatively. So, and then I'm able to get out here today and go full blast with you guys. Hi guys.
Okay.
And so that's the beauty of rest days. Do you see rest in a positive or negative light? I really am interested in what your view is. Thank you, Del Norte, for another badge. Appreciate you guys sharing the love here today. A little something that Instagram does to let you guys that love people on Instagram Live that are doing work that you enjoy, getting a badge is your way of showing that. So thank you very much. So what's your view of rest? Is rest a bad word? Is it a 4-letter word? It is, but not in the pejorative way. But a lot of people see it that way. There's some people that see rest as the antithesis of what their goal is, of what trying to be better is. Well, if I rest, I'm not being proactive about being better. And that's a jaded way of looking at it. We should all be looking at rest as part of the same journey. My rest yesterday, which absolutely did none of the biohacks, nothing at all. In fact, I made sure I got well nourished. I made sure that I did things relaxing to recuperate my body. If you're gonna rest, rest. I didn't do like a little bit of this, a little bit. Nope, that would not have been resting. When you rest, rest. Think of it like fasting. People are all the time asking me, because I've written a book on fasting called The Complete Guide to Fasting. So Jimmy, what can I have on a fast? And I'm like, you realize what the word fast means, right? Right? So if you're fasting from food, it means you have no food. Oh, well, can I have bone broth? No, that's food. How about bulletproof coffee? No, that's going to give you calories and nutrition. That's food. But, I'm sorry, it's water and it's salt. That's how you fast. And so when I rest, I think of it the same way. Can I do a little something? Nope. You need to choose which one you're doing. So in the analogy with fasting, the opposite of that on the days you're not fasting is called feasting. So in this analogy with rest, resting is the fasting. The feasting is what I'm doing right now, doing all the things. And when you're feasting and doing all the things, that's cool. But when you're fasting, taking a rest, that's just as much a part of the journey. I can't say it any clearer than that. And I feel like we've lost that in our culture. People don't understand. Rest is as beneficial, and I would argue more beneficial than what you do. Now, hear me out. Doing all the things definitely is what's instigating the success that I've seen so far. Totally believe that. But imagine this. Yesterday, I didn't feel it. I was wore out. My body said stop. My body was obviously not giving me good rest, and I needed a day off. Let's say I pushed through that and did it anyway. Let's say that I was out here yesterday in that weakened state and I pushed. At some point, your body and your mind are going to give you a WTF. And they're going to be like, all right, you ain't going to listen to our signal, our first signal. We're going to send you a louder signal. And that's where you become susceptible to injury. That's where you fall flat on your back from exhaustion. You've got to honor those signals your body is giving you to just rest. And that's what I did yesterday. Without apology. proudly. Let me tell you what I did with that time, because all of these biohacks take up a good amount of my day, 5 or 6 hours to do them all. And I use that time to get caught up on my emails, get caught up on booking some podcast guests. Those things have just been sitting there forever because I haven't had the time. And so I used that time wisely, not just to rest my body, but to actually help myself lower stress, because that stuff was getting on my nerves, being so far behind. Now it's all caught up. So that's a beautiful thing. There's always something to do in the day of rest. So yes, if you just joined us, you guys, it's day number 30 of my sabbatical to 50. This is my 100-day journey to transform my body composition, renew my mind, improve the mindset. And so I've been taking you guys along on this journey. And yesterday I took a day of rest, and so I was explaining how rest is just as important as the doing. All the things that I'm doing, those rest days are a big part of that journey to better. But let's see what you guys have chimed in with here today. Please feel free to make any comment about what I've shared. You can also bring up any topic you want, ask any questions. I'm all ears. Good morning, Linda. Thanks for being here. Linda said I did 2 1-hour walks yesterday and my sleep was terrible. Well, if you're new to that, it can be, because your muscles will be sore. Maybe you got overtired, and that's really no good for your sleep when you're overtired. Yeah, there's a lot of reasons. So work your way up. If you're just starting and have started walking, like really seriously doing it on a regular basis like I've been doing, start with the 1 hour and just kind of assess where you are before you add a second. I think that's what sabotaged me early on. Was my original protocol was 2 1-hour walks, and I realized I needed to work my way up to that. And I feel like I'm at that point now where I can do it. Maybe not every day, but 3-4 times a week, I could do a second walk. It's a lot predicated on the weather right now. It's suddenly become summertime during the daytime again here in South Carolina, mid to upper 80s again. I'm like, really? I was just getting used to and enjoying the cooler weather. Like right now, it's like 66 degrees. It's been 51. So I like this weather here, but too much hotter than this, and it's a little rough to walk in and breathe in. But yeah, keep listening to your body, Linda. Eating Clean 1969 says, I start my exercise journey again tomorrow morning. I meditate to Lena Grace at bedtime. I have not seen her name, but that's good to know. Yeah, there's so many people who struggle with meditation, and so having good resources out there is good. I know a lot of people, when I talked about struggling with meditation a few weeks ago, were like sending me all these things. I'm like, guys, you don't understand. It's not the who or the what, it's the why and the how. And I had a good friend in the health and fitness industry, Tara Garrison. She actually, when I saw her at the biohacking conference a couple weeks ago, I was telling her about my struggles, and she's like, just do it. Just do it. And when you try to make it hard, when you try to be, okay, my mind can't wander, and try to be perfect with it, she's like, that's not the point. The point is just get in the moment of it. And for some reason that clicked in my head of, okay, let's do this. And now I'm enjoying it. Now I really enjoy the meditation. And I've been doing about 10 to 15 minutes at a time. I think at some point I might try to go longer just to feel that. But lots of deep breaths, lots of kind of positive thoughts in the midst of those guided meditations. It's wonderful. If you don't meditate, definitely look that up. but thank you for sharing what you do. I have cut back my work schedule to get in more rest. My well-being is more important. Yes. Look, I knew from a physical standpoint yesterday that I needed the rest. I also knew from a mental standpoint, with all those emails and all those bookings for the podcast, I needed to catch up on that so I could relax about that being behind. You guys know when you get behind on something that needs to get done, does it make you relaxed? No. You stay on edge, don't you? You kind of like, I don't have time to get to it, but I know I need to get to it, but you never seem to have the time. Something else always comes up, usually just stuff in the day-to-day that you're never able to actually do anything about it. And so having that day of rest yesterday gave me mental rest as well, since I took care of a lot of those things. I've been asked to be on several podcasts and summits and things, and they were just sitting there. And so got to book all of those. So it's amazing what I redeemed yesterday simply by resting from the biohacks. And again, it's rare now. It's not every other day. Like I said, it's been about 10 days. The last time I rested was the day that I came back from the biohacking conference. I got home, left at like 2 a.m. and got home at just before noon. And I'm like, I'm not going to bust my ass trying to fit all these things in after an 8-hour drive in the car and a long weekend where I walked all over the place at that biohacking conference. It was smart for me to rest. And then I've gone every day until yesterday. So I'm pretty proud of that, because that rest is serving me well. And I feel great today, so that's the payoff as well. That day after your rest, if you're not guns blazing, ready to take on the world, you didn't rest well. You didn't rest enough. And I'll tell you what I did during the rest. I actually rested. Yes, I did a little bit of my work that I have to do. But if I wanted to go lay down, I went and laid down. Rested my body, relaxed, enjoyed myself. And that's how you do it. Marty says, so on point today, Jimmy. Rest but know yourself. Trust your body, not your feelings. Yes. Your brain can tell you, you don't need to go hit yourself hard. You've been so good. Just give yourself a rest when you don't really need it. You're not really in need of resting. That's your mind playing tricks on you. It's so easy to let your mind wander and go that path. Because look, our minds are designed to take us down the path of least resistance, to make it as easy as possible. That's how our brains work. And so if you convince yourself that you've been good, that you can handle what's happening, that it's okay to have a rest day just because your brain tells you so, that's the equivalent of saying, I've been good on my diet, I've lost weight, I feel better, so therefore I'm just going to have McDonald's just this one time. Exact same thing. Do you need the McDonald's? No. Now, could you have a better option for that food? Yes. And the better option for the food in this analogy is the real rest day, because your body needs it. The fast food option in this analogy is your body or your brain basically saying, yeah, bruh, go take a rest day. It'll be all right. You'll get back on it again. And more times than not, when you do the rest day because your brain tells you, you're going to fall off. And you might let one rest day become a couple rest days, become a rest week, and before you know it, you've stopped altogether. And guys, that's not an option. I have tried hard during this journey to make it a rest day based on my body. Never a rest day plus because my mind told me. It'd be very easy to fall into that. Trust me, I know. There are days when I think the other day, I said, I don't want to be out here, but I'm out here anyway. And sorry, I'm at that intersection again where it's very squirrely. Do not want to get hit. I don't want to be out here, but I'm out here anyway, is what I put on my stories. And that's the attitude you need to have when your mind's trying to tell you you can't do it, you need the rest. If it's just your mind, that's not enough. Your body has to physically be giving you signals, either through not able to move, sleep is off, whatever. Just listen to what your body's telling you. Eating Clean says, I see rest as a positive. It actually makes you stronger. Yes, when you realize that the strength gains come when you're not doing all the things, it changes your perspective entirely. Again, anybody that works out in the gym and is an expert at building muscle, they will tell you going to the gym is the worst thing you can do for building muscle. Now listen to what I'm saying here. In the process of working out, you are catabolizing the muscle. In other words, tearing it down. A lot of people, they don't know that. They think, oh, I'm getting stronger in the gym. No, you're actually getting weaker. By design. You tear those muscle fibers, and it's in the aftermath of doing that you start getting stronger, when they build back and build stronger. And I see today, after resting yesterday, as the manifestation of what I did yesterday was getting stronger. And it always happens when I take a day of rest. I come back the next day and I'm ready to take on the world. It's an amazing thing when you get to that point. And if you've never felt that, number one, you've never pushed yourself to be needing a rest day. And then number two, you may or may not have rested well. And so concentrate on those things. It's something that I'm learning about myself is I can push, but when the body says stop, I stop. I get the benefit from that. I rejuvenate, and then I'm able to push again. And that's where I'm at. Dana says, that's happened to me before. I think it wakes my body up and it wants more movement. Yes, it will do that. It will do that. There's a balance between rest and effort, says Del Norte. Yes, you have to find that happy balance between pushing yourself, knowing your limits, but trying to push yourself as hard as you can. Tomorrow, I'm going to bring you a message about how once you start a journey like this, the desire is to do more. And so we're going to talk about that tomorrow. But I wanted to focus in on this rest thing today because rest has such a negative connotation that people, they don't value it. They don't see what good it does for you. All right, guys, I'm at my halfway point. Miss Lena Lane, the cousin of Lois Lane. So, yeah, they don't see the value in rest. And I think there's great value in it. Every time I've rested, like literally like clockwork, every time I knew my body physically needed rest, what did I do? I rested. And granted, it's not been a lot of times, thankfully, but it's been strategic. It's been because I've listened to my body. It's been because I honor my body enough to know that when I rest, I know I'll be stronger as a result. And I think that's been the secret to this first 30 days, you guys, is I have been deliberate about listening to my body, honoring the signals it's giving me, and always trying to be cognizant of, all right, like today's a fasting day, and I'm right at 20 hours of fasting. So if I get to 24 hours and I'm still not hungry, guess what? I'm not going to eat. If I get to 30 hours and I start to feel that hunger, I'm going to eat. That's how this works. Letting your body dictate what you need. So that's fun. So if you're just coming in, you're late to the party. Welcome, welcome. Day number 30 of my sabbatical to 50. This is my 100-day journey to change my body composition, which so far so good is happening. Change my mindset, and to bring you guys along for the ride. Day 30, so 20 more days, I'll be at day 50. And that's when I'm going to invite you guys to join me on day. For me, I want you to do your own 50-day journey. And I'm already having a lot of people reach out. Hey, I'm really thinking seriously about what I'm going to do during my 50 days. And I'm excited to join you. And yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun, you guys. I want to be a support system for all of you desiring to do your own 50 days. And when I come out here on this walk and you're on here and you're doing your own 50-day journey, I'm going to ask you about what you're doing, how you're doing with it, and all the things. So real excited about that. That's just under 3 weeks from now. Good morning. And so that's coming up soon. But what do you think about the idea of rest? Is rest a negative to you? Is it a positive? Wow. That truck just sped up, just blew through the stop sign just so they wouldn't have to stop for me. That's horrible. I think they needed to rest their truck a second. They're in a hurry to get to work, I guess. But is rest a good thing, do you think? Do you like rest? Or are you one of those people, and there's nothing wrong with this, our culture has taught us this, are you one of those people that thinks rest is highly negative? Oh my gosh, I can't stop. A lot of people do. I get it, I guess. When you become so convinced that you got to go all the time, it does make it tough when you put on the brakes and stop. So, So I'm walking at a good clip here today. Made it to my long halfway point. On my way back, I am feeling a little bit of weakness in my ankles. So ironically, it's not the left ankle that I twisted recently. It's the right ankle. I can feel it start to buckle sometimes here and there. I'm pretty strong most of the time because I try to tighten up my legs to not let it buckle. But then when I do that, I start feeling shin splints. I can feel my calves, and so it's real interesting. You guys went quiet on me. Talk. If you're still here and alive and listening to what I'm saying, just share something. It's not like the other day when Karen called me and nobody could hear anything. I would love to hear your thoughts on rest. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is it something that you value? Or is it something that you loathe? I want to hear your thoughts. Eating Clean says, my challenge right now is getting into bed by 9 o'clock so I can get 7 hours of sleep. My problem is I'm a night owl. Yeah, I know a lot of people like that. I myself am an early to bed person naturally. Typically, I've been going to bed, 7, 8 o'clock, sometimes even earlier. Last night, after all the resting during the daytime, I actually couldn't go to sleep until about 9 o'clock. It was just before 9 o'clock that I went to sleep because I had rested so much during the day. And then I woke up this morning, checked my Oura Ring results, and I had over 2 hours of deep sleep, right at an hour or so of REM, and I feel good today. So, but yes, trying to prioritize sleep definitely helps with knowing if you need a rest day or not. And I find that when the sleep starts to get off is when the body starts to tell you, hey, you got to chill. You're pushing and you have no reason to push because your sleep has not been good. In fact, my Oura Ring will give me results that say, looks like you didn't sleep well last night. You might want to take it easy today and not push yourself too hard. So it's real fascinating to get that instant biofeedback from a little device like that. Bulletproof Coconut, go Jimmy, thank you. If you don't rest, then your body will eventually force you to. Yes, that's what I was saying earlier. Had I not taken that rest yesterday and pushed myself, your body will respond accordingly. All right, you didn't like that gentle nudge I gave you to rest. How about this kick in the you-know-where to make you rest? And then you need to rest longer because you probably caused some damage. So I try to be mindful of it, finding that balance between pushing hard and then resting appropriately. I think I have. And believe me, yesterday was the day I was going to flip the tire. Yesterday was when I wanted to get that done. But I'm like, no, I gotta rest. And in fact, Tuesday, I wanted to do it, and it just wasn't in me. Tuesday afternoon, I was already feeling that I was going to need rest. Even though my mind wanted to do it, I had to honor what my body was telling me. And so I did. While I'm watching you. Well, cool, Del Norte. Yes, somebody, I think it was Linda the other day, said, yeah, I just keep walking on my walk until you're done. And I said, I should screw with you someday and walk 2 hours. I could walk 2 hours. This trail a long way. But no, I would not do that to you. You guys know this is about an hour walk, so I will honor that. Maybe on April 1st next year, as a April Fool's joke. I'll be like, okay, I'm going out for my hour walk and just keep walking to see if anybody notices that I've gone longer than an hour. Yes, I would do that. Shoot, by April next year, I should be so incredibly fit. Walking 2 hours would be nothing. Seriously. Like, it should be that point that you can do that without any problem. And look, this is still a challenge to me, but it's not impossible. This 1 hour. It's still very well. I am missing lifting, but I'm going to give that a go soon. I did promise you guys I would flip the tire before the end of the week, so sometime this week it will happen. I don't know when. Maybe this afternoon. Let's just see how things go. See how I feel. But yes, thank you for joining me on the walk. A lot of you guys have picked up doing a morning walk because of my regular Instagram lives. So thank you for that. That's good to know. Sandra said I didn't sleep well. Went to weight training anyway. I had a very weak session. Had to stop short of the number of reps. Overall, it was a crappy session. Should have rested well. I still think you got benefit because you learned something about yourself today, Sandra. that when your body is not rested enough, and many other factors, you've got to honor that. But when you didn't honor that, now you see how the body responds. And so resting up, allowing your body to recuperate, next time you hit that gym, you're going to be an all-star. And you'll be able to pump that iron very well. I think we have this notion in our minds that we have to go, again, because you don't want to fall out of the habit of it. So that is a big reason why not to. Have a good day. And so I'm glad you learned that about yourself today, Sandra. And yeah, go rest your body. Go rest your body and your mind. I think sometimes when we hear rest, we just think sleep. We just think lie down, which both of those are important when you're resting. But rest also means don't overly think about things. Don't get worked up with social media. Rest has a lot of connotations. Rest means resolving loose ends, like I talked about earlier with my emails that had gotten behind yesterday on my rest day. That's what I did. I got caught up on my emails and my bookings for my podcast and all the things, and it was great. I enjoyed that. So now I've got 2 emails in my email box after having over 100. And these are like legitimate emails, not spam. These are all people that wanted to talk to me, ask questions, blah, blah, blah. It's all caught up now. My calendar is into November now with podcast bookings. So very productive rest day yesterday for me. So when you're resting, it means you can do other things, but don't strain yourself physically or mentally. Do things that relax you. I did not do this yesterday, but you could watch a movie. Whatever gives you enjoyment. I'm trying to remember exactly what I did yesterday. I was in my massage chair for a bit. I did prioritize getting adequate nutrition because I thought about, well, let me fast. I'm not doing anything today. But yesterday was not a fasting day. Today's the fasting day. I'm like, okay. So my last meal was at 12:30 and enjoyed it, savored it. And then I wasn't hungry the rest of the day. So yeah, that's where we are. All right. Dana says, I used to feel bad about resting. I thought I was just being lazy. Yeah. That's what society tells you. But I don't feel that way anymore. I rest out in nature. Oh, how I wish there was somewhere I could just be out in the middle of the woods. No cars rushing by me like this busy road. Just sit out, hear the sounds of nature, hear the ruffling leaves, hear birds chirping, hear the scurrying of squirrels. How fun would that be? And I see people post pictures all the time about how they're out in the middle of a place like that. And I'm having major FOMO. I'm like, I want to do that. Now, there are places up the road from me. I'd have to drive about an hour from here to get into like the mountain area where it can be solemn and quiet like that. And in due course, I will be taking that trek up to like the Asheville, North Carolina area to find such a place. I just sit in my lounge chair in the middle of the woods, looking at it and listening to all the nature sounds. Yes, I find that glorious. That's a great idea. And so that lowers your stress levels, especially if you do like deep breathing exercises. You could even do a little light yoga. I think what would be cool in that setting is to turn on a meditation on your phone while you're listening to the natural nature sounds in the middle of the woods in that lounge chair. and then do the meditation. Do a long meditation, like a 30-minute, 60-minute meditation while in the lounge chair, while listening to all the natural sounds. All right, now you got me thinking, Dana. So I like that idea. Really like that idea. I may try that sometime. Lena says, I worked 12 years on the midnight shift, so I appreciate my rest now. Yes. I don't know how people who work that late night, that third shift, I don't know how you get and stay healthy. I remember doing a podcast with a medical doctor, the Biohacking MD podcast, or Keto Hacking MD podcast. We talked about biohacking and keto. Dr. John Lemansky is his name. And he was the lead doctor at this ER in the third shift for 12 years in Mississippi. And here we are, what did he say, 8 or 10 years later, and he's still not recuperated from it. He still has little things in his health that are impacted by the breaking of that circadian rhythm. And so I admire, and I'm glad that you guys are there in the medical field at that time of night if something happens. But whew, I feel for you. They should not let you be on that shift long term. There should be some kind of a rotating schedule where, all right, for the next year or 2 years, whatever, you're going to do the third shift so that so-and-so can re-entrain their circadian rhythm. But I guess it doesn't work that way. Candy says, how long do you think it takes for some of the inflammation to decrease after getting back on low carb? I have so much inflammation from completely getting off track for several months. Look, inflammation will drop quick, but inflammation is not just about the carbohydrate. Inflammation's a lot of things. Yes, get off the crappy garbage, sugar, grains, starch, if you're trying to do low carb. But be mindful of vegetable oils. That is a huge thing. Canola oil, corn oil, and in a lot of the keto packaged products, they include those very harmful, highly, highly inflammatory oils. So get off of all the oils. Learn to de-stress. So be active at doing things like meditation to lower your stress load. And then, just be consistent and give it time. So I don't know how you know what your inflammation levels are if you're just assuming it. If you ran one of the markers that doctors run is called HSCRP, high sensitivity C-reactive protein. And if that number's over 3, you're highly inflamed. Needs to be under 3, optimally under 1. I can't wait to test that one when I'm done with this sabbatical 100-day journey. It was 1.1 the last time I checked it for me. So right in that almost optimal range. And it's something that can change very quickly when you start doing all the things. Yes, diet is important. Yes, diet is the basis and the foundation. But you got to be doing some of these other things to relax your body and stop instigating all the inflammation from happening. I would say another big one is don't expose yourself overly so to social media, which is kind of ironic because I'm on social media telling you don't look as much social media, but get away from all the negativity, the bickering back and forth between factions, the negative news, the fear porn, as a lot of people call it. Just get away from it because that will inflame you as well. It's one thing that kind of instigated this sabbatical was I was finding myself not caught up in the fear porn, but just finding myself going, okay, I know the ramifications of all the stress in my life, which I've talked about before, but I've gone through childhood trauma, and there were a lot of things that came out a couple of years ago that really made me reevaluate a lot of that. I also went through a very traumatic experience in my personal life that took me a long time to overcome. And that all contributed to some of the weight gain that I've dealt with that I'm now trying to rectify. And so don't negate the stress of just stuff happening in your life. And of course, everybody's going through this crazy thing we've been through the last almost 2 years now. So manage it. Do all the things. Ground your feet in the ground, breathe in fresh air, get out in nature. I still love that lounge chair in the middle of the woods. That sounds so glorious. So glorious. Karen says, hello, just signed on, was swinging kettlebells this morning. That's cool. Karen, that's one of the things that I'm going to probably implement once I get going with my flipping of the tire, and that doesn't pose a challenge anymore, or as much of a challenge. I will probably swing kettlebells, probably not during this 100 days. That's going to be probably the next phase of after the 100 days is over. It's so curious. People are like, what are you going to do after 100 days? I'm like, well, first of all, breathe and go, you made it, good job. But then, yeah, have a game plan to add more. Like I said, I'll talk about that topic on tomorrow's walk, so stay tuned. Karen says, truckers too with the night shift thing. My husband works nights. Yeah. Anybody that works that third shift, it's brutal. Your circadian rhythm is all off, and it has health consequences, both physical and mental health consequences. And it adds a stress because your body naturally wants to go get up with the sun and go to sleep when the sun goes down. That's the way the body works. And so if you try to mess with that, which I understand, life, you have to make a living for your family, and if the only shift that's available is that third shift, you got to do it. Things wouldn't work well if we didn't have those third shifters. So we are all grateful for that. But they do sacrifice their bodies and their health to do those. So sorry he has to do that, but it is a necessary evil sometimes. After 100 days of the journey, after 100 days, the possibility is endless. Yeah, at the end of 100 days, and I'll talk more about it tomorrow. I don't want to spoil tomorrow's message, but let's just say that when you start on a journey, you have a plan, you start executing that plan. In the midst of the plan, anybody that's been on a journey, you know what I'm talking about. In the midst of the plan, your brain always goes, I want to do more. I want to do more. I want to push myself even more. Now, if you thought about those more things on day one, they would have been impossible. Day one of a journey, all the things that you set out already felt somewhat impossible. How am I going to do this? And in my case, 100 days in a row. Well, here I am 30 days in, and I'm already thinking, what else can I add to it? And that's what happens. So I'll be sharing more about that tomorrow. Robbie says, my challenge right now is just getting my hip replaced because I can barely get all at this point 1 week out. Oh, get out at all maybe at this point? Sorry, your grammar threw off my English brain. I think you meant you can't get out. Look, you've got a surgery coming up. I wish you well with that, Robbie. But that's an extenuating circumstance. Obviously, you need to chill, get your surgery, recuperate well, however long that is. So I wish you very, very much success with that. It's not fun going through something like that, but you do what you got to do. And when the time is right, you'll know when to push. When you've gone through physical therapy, and that brand new hip is going to serve you well. I've got a left knee that tweaks sometimes. When I'm walking stairs, I have to be real careful about not just bounding up some stairs. I'm walking up this second hill here on this walk. It doesn't hurt with that. There's something about the going upstairs motion that puts a lot of strain on it. And so sometimes it'll buckle. So I'm hoping losing the weight and getting stronger helps with that. But I couldn't imagine if I needed a knee replacement at some point. Whew, that would suck, because it would put me out. And I've seen people go through that and go through the rehab. No. I mean, they say at the end of it all, it was well worth it because they're out of pain and they feel younger and blah, blah, blah. I refuse to believe I can't make it stronger. I realize why it hurts, the extra weight on the body, putting pressure on that. But I'm working on that. And as long as I'm able to get out here and walk and be physically active, then I think I'll be able to avert what people think is inevitable. Knee surgeries have become so common, people don't even think how weird it is. Your knees aren't needed to be replaced at 45, 55 years old, which is when a lot of people do them. Not necessarily. I'm gonna try to buck that trend. We'll see how I do. Keep Austin Keto says, morning, I always miss your lives. Yeah, I try to go on when the sun comes up here. When I first started, the sun was up at like 6:50. Today, the sunrise was 7:22. So it's daylight enough about 5 to 10 minutes before that. So I was on live at about 7:10 this morning, somewhere around there, 7:10, 7:15. And so try to do that on the mornings that I'm not taking a day of rest. But I'm feeling so good today because I rested yesterday. I know the value of it, and I'm pretty happy that I did that. I overdid it last week and needed to take an extra day of rest this week, says Keep Austin Keto. My mom had knee surgery and has little to no quality of life. Yeah, like I said, it's been miraculous for the few people that I've heard, but they talked about the recovery being brutal. And look, I live by myself, so I got nobody to go get things for me when you're supposed to let that leg just stay straight and propped up and blah, blah, blah. I got nobody around, so if I needed knee surgery, I don't know how I would survive. So I am going to try to avoid that. I'm only 49, so I'm aiming to make it strong, so I don't need that. All right, so going to recap a little bit. It's day number 30 of my stay sabbatical to 50. 100 days in a row, working on myself, body composition wise, mindset, doing all the things. And on December the 10th, I hope to be at the very start of being a new man. And it's so easy to think it's too late. It's so easy to think, well, I've tried things and they've not worked. I've come to the conclusion of, if you've tried things and they've not worked, either work them more or work them in tandem with other things. So I've been carnivore almost 4 years now. And carnivore alone was not enough. I know that pisses off some people in the carnivore world, keto world, when you say, well, it's not just diet. But it's true. A lot of people do see great results from just diet change. And I'm happy for you if that's your journey. But others of us, we need other things. Maybe a walk or two a day. Maybe some meditation. Maybe some grounding with sun. Maybe red light. Maybe ice baths. Maybe vibration plate therapy. Whatever. We all need our own thing. So if you see somebody go on a keto or carnivore diet and they have amazing results, and you do the same thing but you don't get mad at them. They don't have the issues that you have. So you have to do more. So I'm at this very scary place to walk So hang with me just a second. Man, a lot of traffic today. Woo. It's 45 minutes after the elementary school began school. Why is it so busy? I don't know. But yes, some of us have to do more than just diet. And look, it's a reality. And to me, if you have to do more, it's because you can handle the more. You can do more and push yourself to do more. And I'm happy about it. Look, I know what I'm doing right now is very intense. I know, will I keep doing all of these things when this 100 days is over? I don't know, but I don't imagine I'll be doing all of them, but a requisite amount of them. The things that are serving me well and the things that I know I get benefit from. So I'll be trying to determine what those things are that I actually get the most benefit from. But if you're talking about your health and you're getting older, which we all are, you do what you got to do, right? Karen says, I knew you'd be ready to hit it again today. Recovery is so important. Come back stronger. Yes. Stronger I am today. Stronger, resilient, fired up. I think that's the fun part about taking a day of rest. You come back that next day and you are so buzzing with energy. Again, if you rested well, which I did. If you rest well, you should be buzzing with energy and ready to take it on. And this will carry me all through today, the next few days, until my body starts to tell me a signal that it needs to rest again. And hopefully that's a little while from now. Like I said early on, it was like every 3 or 4 days I needed to be resting. Never have missed more than a day. I come back from the 1 day rest and then I'm back. Boom, let's get it. And I want to keep it that way. Because I have a feeling if you do back-to-back rest days, oh, you're setting yourself up. You're setting yourself up for it to all fall apart. So, no bueno in my eyes. Bulletproof coconut, I've seen several people get knee surgery and continue to have problems. Oh yeah, that's the flip side of it. That's the flip side. If they don't build your knee well or leave some scar tissue in there, there's all kind of reasons why it would not do well and they still have problems. That would suck. Having the surgery, which is already expensive, having the recuperation period, which is long, having all the physical therapy, only to still be in pain. Yeah, screw that. I would hate that so much. Keep working on that inner and outer strength. Yes, always, always, Del Norte. Always. If you need anything, we only live a few miles away. Well, Kiki, why don't you come on this walk with me? I've been begging some people in Spartanburg. Hey, come join me on my walk if you have time in your schedule, that is. Come join me on my walk. How cool would it be to have people joining me? That would be fun. Dale says you can do more or tweak the protocols. Yes, exactly. Where are my chickens? Oh, there's my cat. You want to see my cat? Hi, Skunky. Say hi, baby. Skunky. I think my chickens are hiding in the coop today. I don't know why they're not out here. You said this time of day, they're all over the place in the yard, squawking up a storm. Laurie says rest is very good, a huge part of the journey. Yes, I have embraced that rest is such an integral part of the journey. And the moment we don't believe that is the moment we don't succeed. Everyone who succeeds on a journey honors that value that comes from the rest. Speaking of rest, I'm sitting on my laurels now. It feels so good. Getting out the door to walk now too, says Sharon. Good, Sharon. Proud of you. DeMarco says, how much weight have you lost so far during this journey? DeMarco, if you've been following my journey, you know the answer to that. I'm not weighing myself in this journey. It's one of the beautiful things about this particular journey I'm on is there's no weight loss desire. There's no weight loss goal. I don't really care. If you read my post from the other day where I posted the pictures from day 1 to I think it was day 27, in that post I talked about this isn't about weight loss. It's not about knowing how many inches I've lost. It's not knowing what my blood sugar or ketone levels are. I don't care about all that stuff. That is all the part of the diet culture that I am repulsed by. Those are the things that have made people so discouraged at any health journey. And I'm just not interested in that anymore. I played that game for so long. And I think it's why so many people do well, but then get discouraged and they get off of something that was serving them very well. So I have no idea how much weight I've lost. I don't. I know what I look like in pictures, which I'm taking lots of pictures every day. And I know how I feel. I know how my clothes feel. Those are the things that are important because I don't want to step on a scale and it goes up and then I'm discouraged, or it stays the same and I'm discouraged, or it goes down but not as much as I wanted it to and I'm discouraged. I see the value of a scale. I see no value in the scale, to be honest. It's more likely to discourage you than encourage you. And so I call the scale the lying liar that lies for a reason, because it's not telling you the whole story. So no, I have no idea how much weight I've lost. It's obvious though, if you see those pictures, go scroll back through my social media, you'll see them. You'll see day 1 and day 27, and there's an obvious smaller stomach now. My arms and my legs, pretty normal anyway, if you just look at them from day 1 to day 27. But the midsection is where most of my weight is. Some people say they can see it in my face, and yeah, you can. But yeah, I have no idea how much. And honestly, I don't care. How was your calf, Gina said. So yes, the bruise completely gone. 2 days after getting that ultrasound, Gina, only to find it was not a blood clot. The bruise disappeared. And let me push on it now. I mean, it's still a little bit tender, just ever so slightly. It's enough for me to go, okay, I still feel the remnants of it. But whatever it was, it's healed. So that was fun last week. Going to the ER clinic and then going to get an ultrasound, almost $1,000 in medical stuff. If you ever need anything, we live in the Fair Forest area. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Kiki, come join me on this walk. I would love to have a buddy on the walk. Lena says ultrasound is great for the knees and not invasive. Yeah. Catching you late, says Sharon. Well, watch the replay, my dear. Let me know when we can walk, says Patty. Yeah, Patty, you're another one that lives local in Spartanburg. Well, you know what time I go walk. So sometimes I do afternoon walks. Reach out to me through DM and maybe we can coordinate an afternoon walk. That would be fun. I do walk fast though, so I hope you can keep up. Dale likes my cat. Yeah, that's Skunk. Now I get to sit down and watch the sun come up over the park. Linda, yes. Since I'm sitting down, you get to stop. So good job. I saw another pootie tat go up the stairs. Yes, that other one is my orange cat. Oh, that is so weird. Can you guys see me? That was so weird. I was like, what in the world? Instagram's having weird issues. It looked like a poltergeist took over my phone there for. Karen says, I haven't weighed in years, but you can tell if the pants are pinching. Yes, exactly. So Dale wanted to know. Yeah, it froze. Thank you. Yeah, it was very weird. On my screen, it made like a little microphone thing on my clock, and then it froze, and then it went black, and then it flipped the screen. It was so weird. Like there's a poltergeist in my phone. Anyway, I'm almost done. Instagram, let me finish this live. I'm almost done. So, somebody said they saw another putty tat up the stairs. Dale did. So yes, that's Peaches. She's my oldest cat. She's right at 18 years old. Dale says maybe it was a poltergeist. Yes. Man, Instagram is doing some weird stuff lately. Like my best friend Brittany, who I saw on here earlier, she's not talking today, but she one day I was trying to tag her in something and I couldn't find her, becoming.brittany.lee. And so I was scrolling and I went over to another account and I found her. And I was like, am I blocked? So I call her. I said, did you block me on Instagram? She's like, no. So she goes and looks at it. And sure enough, Instagram had blocked me on her side. And I'm like, what? And then like 5 days later, she was unfollowed me. And she didn't do it. So there's some weird stuff happening on here. Keep an eye on that stuff, you guys. Who knows what's happening? But anyway, I know what is happening. I'm on this sabbatical to 50. Oh, there she is. Hi, Peaches. 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 Meow. I am on day 30 of my 100-day sabbatical to 50. So thank you guys for watching. I love doing these updates for you here on Instagram. This does get posted all over the internet. So it's on IGTV, it's on YouTube, it's on Facebook. And if you're on one of these formats watching this on replay, come join us live. It's somewhere between like 7 and 7:30 right now. Whenever the sun comes up here in Spartanburg, South Carolina is when I go live, and would love to have you engage in this. I have seen the viewership of this increase, so there are more people interested in hearing what I have to say in the morning. So I appreciate that very much, you guys. And I will be back again real soon. I got to go get in that infrared sauna, get a shower, get some of the other biohacks done. I'll be done with almost all the biohacks. I saved the ice bath for later. I may go on a walk later this afternoon again. I don't do a second live when I do a second walk. So anywho, lots of stuff to do. Always, always, always. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'll be back again real soon.